Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. As today we set our sights on Last Chance of Cyrene, which, aside from being where Yurliette has her Aldari stash, is also, I believe, where Marazai is lying in wait for us, so we will have to be a bit careful there. Though, I mean, we're already all the way out here. Maybe we'll go ahead and pick a fight with him anyway. We do have a couple of other loose ends we still need to tend to, but that's nothing we can't do after. I'll mull on it. No real rush anyway, since I know for a fact that we have at least one travel event in the queue. So we'll see how that plays out first, and then we'll worry about disrespecting our Eldar. Let's see what we got. Here we go. Your Lordship, Master Harriman succeeded in his escape and has arrived on board. He has almost completed the ritual of harmonization with the rest of the choir, which has given our voices greater strength and cohesion. We have made our preparations and are awaiting your arrival to start the ritual, as soon as you give the order. The command bridge received an alarming Vox message from the quartermaster. Some of the provisions and drinking water have gone bad and continue to worsen, teeming with fat, gray maggots. However, the ship's air remains undefiled by the rank odor, and the maggots sometimes completely vanish from sight. Should we get rid of the affected stores? Well, I mean, that would be the more prudent approach, but then again, we should also perhaps verify before venting vital supplies. At first glance, the provisions are hopelessly ruined by scabs and disgusting larvae, but looking away makes the squirming filth vanish into thin air. Yet another deception of the warp, thought the Lord Captain. Proved right when the vessel arrived in real space. Nice. Interesting timing, though, just after we encountered those gene stealers. Well, that particular event, the Wasteland Wayfarer, was not actually part of the DLC, though it is apparently now linked into the DLC. If I'm understanding that correctly. I didn't delve too deeply. But with the addition of the DLC, they really have kind of amplified the events of famine and starvation on the ship. Which, in retrospect, does make sense, given the way that gene stealer cults tend to work. The Nourishers on the Wasteland Wayfarer, the VAT guards, by causing or exacerbating those incidents of starvation or famine, they drive more potential followers into their ranks. And of course, it is worth noting that it is one of those incidents that first allowed our cult of the Bloodspun Web to rise to a position of prominence on our ship. A cult which has literally themed itself after an insect-adjacent theme. But not ready to draw any hard conclusions just yet. Let's make sure we get this right. I will say, though, another thing that has actually kind of been percolating in my Dungeon Master brain is the name of that quest. The Three Phalanges, which really does kind of highlight the fact that gene stealers, among their other various differences between their original humanoid forms and what they become, is that they lose fingers, which suddenly makes me suspicious of every character we've encountered who's missing fingers. The Hard Nines, the Vat Foreman.
Let us not dawdle.
And I hate to say it, but Montag? Master Harriman, glad to see you could join us. Let's hope that lasts. Lord Captain, do you still wish to perform the ritual? I mean, you're the one who asked me to come down here, Wise. I take it that's our guy, Master Harriman? Yes, Master Harriman, assigned to the chapel upon your orders for the purpose of performing the ritual, has almost finished his preparations, Lord Captain. Greetings, Valen von Valancius. I will be honored to serve my savior. A middle-aged psyker bows to you passionately. His plump face carries many marks of indulging in all manner of vice. Well, you might not want to thank me just yet. Wise did explain what we're trying to do here, right? It might get hairy, man. You saved me from a life of service that would have been 100 times worse than the cruelest of deaths, and I am indebted to your lordship. If I have to lay down my life to repay that debt, then so be it. Alright, well, that's good enough for me. Try not to die. Wise? The choir master lets out a deep sigh. Well, you made this choice, Lord Captain. Yeah, that I did. Worry not, Master Wise, for as long as I live, the barrier will hold. The temperature inside the chapel is dropping. Every breath turns into a cloud of vapor. The Astropaths' resonant voices blend together, following the pattern of the melody playing in the hall. Every now and then, muffled moans are heard coming from the thrones of the junior Astropaths. The Immaterium is restless. Cassia's voice sounds stifled, as if she is fighting for air. The colors are darkening. No, they are beginning to boil. You hear an interloping voice in your head, like an echo of a distant echo. Your lordship, I sense strangeness, non-minds. They do not seem human-like. How strange. They are akin to insects, parasites. I cannot read them, and that is wrong. Look. A dark veil clouds your vision, only to be succeeded by a blinding light a moment later. The great whiteness is the ship with its multitude of minds, of which you are one. A shadow of utter nothingness winds its way across the blinding white. Oh, wow. Really lucked out on that roll. You hear the choir master's voice coming from a distance, but cannot make out a single word. Your gaze slides along an iridescent thread that has crossed the nothingness. Something shining is towering behind it. A golden giant frozen in place like a statue. A sudden jolt of fear distracts you from that image. Your thoughts turn back toward the nothingness and its kaleidoscope of absences. No color, no emotion, no thought. In its furthest depths, there is something crawling. Okay, let us gaze into the abyss and see what gazes back. Balanced on the brink, your gaze falters and slides down into the depths. Billions of pitch-dark, non-minds stare back at you, a shapeless mass of wrongness. Purple worms of aberration encased in carapaces of otherness. The choir master's voice sounds inside your mind. I cannot see them. I cannot read their minds. I cannot see into their lair. I see only images, fragmented and sinister. Forgive me, Lord Captain, but we took this risk in vain. No, we've learned something. What is this, psychic shield? Foul sorcery? Not sorcery. Something else. I have never encountered minds like this before. Something about them is wrong. Well, we've already come this far. We might as well finish what we started. Yes, Lord Captain. I will now... The nothingness cackles and croaks. I see you. It assumes a vague shape, a man shriveled by age and infirmity, his eyes alight with an alien purple flame. You have been looking for me. A blind man clad in green appears between you and the croaking nothingness, shielding you. What manner of abomination are you? I cannot sense you. You are not of the warp. What is your twisted nature? I cannot sense you either, but I know you. I heard you were going to seek me out. My ears are everywhere. I was ready. The age-worn voice is like a deep wail, echoed by a throng of smaller voices. Civilizations and star clusters lie buried at the bottom of the being's pale eyes, which are aflame with hunger. Your mind feels cramped inside your skull, and you can hear the bone creaking. Wait, so did the ritual work or not? What is this? No, this is not my ritual. Panic rings in the choir master's voice inside your mind. This is his spell, an invasion of our minds. While I was seeking it with my power, it found us with its own. And I cannot stop it. I cannot force it out of our heads. Oh, okay. So if it's trying to interrupt a ritual, then perhaps it fears what might happen if we complete it. Push it back. The ritual must be finished. How? I cannot sense it. I cannot... You are my prey! This is probably fine. Well, yeah, I don't think this went quite right. Oh, wow, jeez, really? All right, okay, well this is a fight. Let's see what we've got here. A number of phantoms with actual names, interesting. Thaddeus, Adeline, Annis, Stavros, Savicia, Antonius, Adeline. We know that name. Oh, you know what? I think these must be casualties from the first time he did the ritual. Yeah, the warp is taking advantage of his trauma, manifesting these apparitions as people who are particularly hurtful to his psyche, I suppose. Though we also have these guys over here. These mad chapel guards, who I suppose are just hapless bystanders who got caught up in the mix. Which sucks for them, because, yeah, I'm gonna have to kill them. Though I suppose my big concern here is that I am also noticing we have several bystanders in the mix. Yeah, the Astropaths. Oh, shoot. Okay, so I think our biggest priority here needs to be stopping the hostiles from reaching the Astropaths. That does make sense. If the goal of this thing is to prevent us from completing the rite, then a good way to do that would be to kill the Astropaths performing it. We'll get our snipers set to take down those guards. We'll get Abby set to keep them off our snipers. We'll need someone on left as well. Probably Pask. Yeah, and then we'll have Kibbles back up Abby on right. Pask just needs to hold left. He doesn't really need to make much headway. And then Abby holds on right. Kibs vaults over and just starts killing casters. The snipers pick people off as they can. And then, of course, Cass on support and crowd control as well. Honestly, of all the times to have dropped Adira, this is definitely a good one. And that is really what kind of kills her, is these increasingly frequent fights where the warp, or the veil rather, is already pierced. Since that, of course, completely hobbles her. It is a shame, though, you know, as with all the companions. I do find her an interesting character to have in our party. If even just for the narrative fluff. For her interjections and banter and such. And the occasional premonition. But, you know, combat-wise, she's definitely one of the bigger liabilities. Heinrichs has a similar issue because he's also psychic, but in his case, he's sanctioned. And I did kind of build him as a melee character first and a psychic second. Alright, let's get these guys locked down. We're going to huck Abby front and center and then just kind of try to pull everyone into him. Actually, let's gather first, then we'll throw him in.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Shoot, I was really hoping we'd pull the one with the Melta, but that's fine. We can work with that.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Abby, do your thing. That's fine. The important thing was just getting you in there.
Gray hair, short hair.
Nice, nice. Just as planned. And let's trim those guards. Sorry, guys. Just need to remember exactly what we have now. I did make some slight tweaks to our loadouts. Oh, come on. Juliet just got XCOM'd. Alright, that's fine. I'm sure Val can pick up the slack. Okay, Kibbles. I am very curious to see what you can do with that new Blood Loss build.
I will leave footprints of scarlet.
Just need to remember what we've actually got slotted now. minor damage, but more notably, 21 stacks of bleeding. Pain resonance. 4 space radius. Okay, let's leap to the next cluster. Oh, nice. Hit all 3, but missed Abby. And that did inflict bleeding, right? Yes, 16 points. My goodness. So pain resonance, that's 16 extra points, plus potential blindness. And Kibbles returns to where she started, with a bonus tag on Antonius en route. Not bad. I mean, I could have done that better, but I am still getting used to the weird interplays at work here. Oh. Crack grenade on Cass. Looks like Cass is down about a quarter. We've got warp apparitions joining the fray, but they look pretty mooky. Let's lock him down.
Victory is imminent.
Nice, nice.
Don't touch me!
Tag on Kibbles. She's down about a fifth. Minor ding on... Nice. Very minor ding on Pask. Let's finish off our first named. We'll oh, actually, no. We should prioritize the guards. Yurliet can finish the named.
Another enemy down.
And there goes one. With 2 attacks left in the queue, so I think we've got them.
I'll see to it personally.
Lovely. Yes. Guards are out. Yeah, it was pointed out to me that apparently the big draw for killing Edge is that it does not count as one of your attacks for the round. So with professional acumen, that means he can easily fire off 3 shots per round. And we've got reinforcements, hopefully just more warp mooks. Apparently I spoke too soon. We've got more guards. Off left this time? I mean, our left. Yes, oh, that might not be great for Pask. Hang tight, bud. Let's get another layer of pass hack going. Yeah, with Pask, I did slightly retool him to make him a bit more skill and support focused. So while he does have some familiar stuff, his offense is ever so slightly lower now. And in exchange, he can now drop more of these. The stratagems. The general idea is to make him our secondary off-tank, but to simultaneously buff the party every round, you know, with... exploit, pass hack, shared analysis. He is essentially our dedicated tech support. Paul.
Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet.
This way!
Nice, nice.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Get out of here. Oop. When you are soaking up my power, killing me. What did you feel? Did you enjoy it? Interesting. Yeah, these things are definitely designed to traumatize poor Zach. Just hang in there, bud. We got you.
Emperor, protect me.
Oop. Not quite what I was going for, but sure. Nearly it. Slap a trap. Yeah, that's good. And let's do some trimming. One out. Let's drop the Melta.
If I must.
You were useless as a mentor. Your failure merely confirmed my expectations. You should have known your place. Harsh. All right, let's get on the guys on left. Clear the other lift. Nice tag. Pask still hanging in there. This is actually going quite well, all things considered. Ooh, out of charges on Death from Above. Forget how to recharge that. I'll have to look into that. But we'll make do with what we've got.
Trust me.
I had warned you that the ritual was a mistake. And for that, you turned me into a monster. You failed even at that, you miserable fool. Wow, that Annis is kind of an asshole. All right, Kibbs, what do you got left in the tank? Yeah, that works.
As honor ordains.
See, what I need to get used to with her is memorizing what order to do her various moves in.
I can't stop this.
Get out of here.
Quick, quick.
Like, what I should have done was added Terror Strike to her Blade Dance. Because that would have forced that guy to try to run and drawn an attack of opportunity from Pask, which in turn would have theoretically finished him off. Though I suppose then it might have actually put him outside range of Pain Resonance, so... Yeah, there's a lot of, like, little fiddly bits you gotta worry about with her moveset. At least as currently built.
I'll do what it takes.
Val's up. Let's clear left. Should be easy. Yurley had already softened one. Oh, right. Oh, sure. I guess we could also have just done that. Wow. I didn't even realize those were explosive. I feel like they didn't have health bars on them when I tabbed. I mean, in my defense, there's a lot going on here. Let's knock this other guy down, then I think we've got enough in the tank to drop a third. Yes, that's 2. And let's go for 3. You had always believed in yourself, not in him. Well, he disbelieved in you, too. Hold. Oh, come on. Okay, so is this infinite reinforcements, or is there a set turn limit on how long this will go on? They are just throwing generic mooks at us, so, I mean, I guess we'll focus on trimming the last couple of named. Though we'll also have to make sure we hold these guys at the bottleneck. Keep our Astropaths uncrossed. Thou shalt not pass!
Running binary override.
I looked up to you. I followed every word you said. If I had only had the foresight to defy you at that fateful moment. One named left.
I can handle this.
Can't quite get Pask on it, but that's fine. We've got Kibbles and Abby coming up in the queue.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Oh, you're Liette. Okay. Well, shoot, you're not really in a great position for this, are you? Or perhaps you are. All I wanted to do was help. I was trying to save you. Look at yourself, at what you have become. Pathetic. They said we were destined for greatness. But you have chosen to wallow in self-pity and lies. Ooh, self-reflection, yeah. Alright, this has got to be it. Let's take this guy out. Kibbs, you're up. Let's bleed this guy dry. Let's see if we can maybe herd this guy straight into Abby. No DOTs yet, so no point in that one.
Emperor protect me.
Nice. Herding successful. Though, shoot, I was hoping we could... The blood trail's supposed to make movement free, but I guess she still can't move because she attacked. Though we did, I think, still blind him. Yes, nice. Now that I'm actually seeing how all this stuff works together, I might refine her build ever so slightly more.
At your beck and call.
We could use more ways to recharge death from above. And it was pointed out to me that we need at least one rank of Xenos lore for her to take Eldari or Drukhari proficiencies. We have a lot of really nice swords she can't otherwise use. The Fractal Blade, the various Envenomed swords. Oh, we've got a Daemonette. You know what? That does make sense. Much like with the Adira incident, I'd wager this is the true culprit behind our despiriting spirits. Oh, yeah, she's even named. Lessates Sorrow Seeker.
I'll make it happen.
Ow. Alright, dogpile the Daemonette.
I'll see to it personally.
Quick, quick.
Yeah, okay. So I think the warp mooks just keep coming until we've cleared the named targets. But, you know, still gotta wrangle them. This is an interesting fight. I mean, obviously we've got it under control at this point, but I could definitely see how it could have gone very wrong very quickly.
Request approved.
Like, I hadn't realized the Astropaths were nearly so,
Running binaric override.
were nearly so fragile at first. If we hadn't blocked both sides, we could have easily ended up losing one or more.
My vow is to serve.
And I'd wager that would have made the fight much more dangerous. You know, the more the right went wrong, the worse the warp would get. Let's see if we can wrap this before this thing gets another turn.
To the brink of agony. My soul sings in ecstasy. Isn't this a job for the serfs? Vile delights beckon you!
Rude. Here, Liette, you're up. Oh, wow. And once again, in exactly the wrong place. Well, no, technically last time she actually did land the hits we needed. All right, that's fine. We'll just have her stay on crowd control. We have gotten some decent mileage out of those traps. Much with the Gene Stealers last time out. There's a lot to be said about being able to control where the enemies can and can't go. Or just locking them down in general. That's fine, just needed the one. That's enough to get the blood going. Abby moves to contain. And there it goes. The choirmaster awakens with a sharp breath. Lord Captain, we are still alive. The God Emperor has protected us this time, but curses, did I not warn you? The old man shakes his head dolefully. His pale fingers are clutching the Aquila adorning his belt. A moment of silence, then words of prayer stream from his lips in a monotone, like a quiet lament, a dirge for the departed, a bitter confession. When he continues speaking, his voice is full of strength. Yet, we escaped disaster. The warp did not take our souls. And there are far fewer casualties this time. Master Harriman's assistance was instrumental, your lordship. He was able to not only protect my mortal body, but also to skillfully blend the timbre of his psionic sound into the harmony of the choral. I regret that he was not at my side for the last rite. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Harriman, you have my gratitude. Now, could someone please explain exactly what just transpired? That thing took the shape of an old man and attacked me. I do not know what it is, but it is neither human nor a psyker. It is something else. Its power is foreign and inimical to me, like a shadow that obscures the shine of the Immaterium's chaotic energies. I was unable to read the abomination's thoughts, and it seemed to find me no less strange than how strange it was to me. Thus, it attacked. For any strangeness is a threat. It had clearly been warned that we would be performing a dangerous ritual, that we would be vulnerable, so it sought to sabotage us by attacking my mind, and my mind almost got us all killed. I mean, don't be too hard on yourself. Yeah, we lost a couple of guards, which is unfortunate, but we did get a new lead. No, your lordship. Wise shakes his head grimly. The ritual proved incapable of extracting anything of value. This evil chose to reveal itself and attack. Our enemy is confident and bold, and so it did not hide. It struck first. Suspiciously brazen. Yep, on that we can agree, I think. So, how are you holding up, Wise? Those spirits were pretty rough on you. Wise lowers his head further. The insidious spawn thrive on confounding one's reason. They don the faces of those I once held dear. My apprentices, all of whom perished the previous time I performed this ritual. They have haunted me ever since, in my dreams, in the warp, everywhere. The Immaterium abominations who devoured their souls have been tormenting me with shame and regret. And now they have come for my sanity as well. When the choir master speaks of his fallen students, there is lingering pain in his voice. His words reflect more than just a terrible memory. They are heavy with the bitterness of personal loss, or of guilt that eats away at the soul. Well, hopefully now that we've dispatched the beast, you'll sleep ever so slightly better. What about that old man? Mutant? Psyker? Even if not, there was nothing more chilling we could have possibly found. An inhuman thing in human form. A true sacrilege against the Emperor. Its mind is strange, like an insect's or a parasite's, but I saw images in the minds of those around it. Currents of energy, a blue glow. The clanging of metal. Could be the plasma drive chambers. That is where I would start searching for signs of corruption. And a worm tormenting a star. Wise touches his cheek, which is smeared with blood that is trickling from under his blindfold. He uses the blood to sketch a perfunctory image. A many-beamed star with a fat, fanged creature coiled in front of it, resembling either a larva or a serpent. The longer you listen to Wise, the more convinced you become that the warp manifestation was not caused by the conniving of the ruinous powers, but by the efforts made to discover an incredibly alien mind. Such an unnatural mind could belong to a dangerous Xenos. Yeah, I got that part, thanks. Wise, have you ever heard of a symbol like this before? No. It could be the emblem of some cult on this ship, but I seldom leave the chapel and have never come across it before. Well, then I suppose I really have no choice. I will visit the plasma drive chambers myself. See if I can find this old man and deal with whatever's taken root on our ship. We sacrificed some of the soundness of our minds to the Immaterium today. I hope it was not in vain and will help your lordship. He winces in pain. I still cannot believe we survived this. Wise slowly unclenches his hand, and a cloud of frost rises from it, revealing his Aquila, now bound in purple psychic ice. He whispers, "The Immaterium has touched it, the holy symbol of the protector of mankind." He pauses, then adds in a gloomy voice, "I do not know if this is a symbol of our victory over the horrors of the warp, a trophy claimed in battle, or a grim portent left by the wicked spawn of the Sea of Souls." Well, let's have a look. Ice-covered Aquila. Whenever the wearer suffers a critical hit, the attacker immediately suffers wearer's willpower bonus warp damage. Yeah, that's pretty tame, honestly. Generally speaking, as always, I don't like to plan around the idea that I'm going to be critically hit. But I would also rather have an item than not have an item, so... Oh, yeah, okay, well, our two main options here are basically to take it graciously, or take it insultingly, or to toss it out. So, with that in mind, I take it as a good sign. The enemies of the Emperor threw everything they had at us today, and yet his symbol still shines as bright as ever. Nothing can shake your lordship's spirit. May this Aquila bring you good fortune. I will have a new one delivered to me immediately. He looks at the Aquila with sorrow. If only everything that the Immaterium takes from us was so easy to replace. Alright, ease up, bud. We've all been through a lot today. No need to cast a pall over our meager victories. Merriman?
An excellent battle, your lordship. Even the warp's apparitions are no match for you.
Right back at you, bud. I don't know if I'll ever see you again, but good luck, I guess. Oh, you exploded. I'm sure that's fine. So any other follow-up to be had? No corpses since they were spirits. Though we did have real guards, but they were up on those raised platforms. Yeah, which are gone now. So I guess the Aquila is our only prize, that and experience points, plus general quest progression. No immediate dialogue follow-up. Harriman's already made himself scarce. Hard to say if he'll actually reappear or not. That said, not bad at all. Yeah, it definitely could have gone a whole lot worse. As far as story stuff goes, I mean, obviously we're dealing with... we've got a gene stealer cult on our ship. Not much of a secret at this point, though our characters still seem largely oblivious to the general minutia of how all that works. I will say, though, we can draw at least a few more connections here. I can't say for certain yet whether or not the Blood Spinners are, in fact, co-opted by a gene stealer cult. It would make sense, though. You know, it was just a couple of episodes ago I was suggesting that based on the system of ascension they've set up for themselves, anyone with a nefarious motive could essentially take out their leader and replace them, and claim that the Emperor had told them to do it. Not to mention, of course, the thing that just contacted us took the form of an old man, and the Vizier himself does seem to randomly fluctuate between being too infirm to travel and spry enough to visit us on the upper decks. And, curiously, despite being the first spinner, he is not actually carrying the Emperor's Tarot. He has given that to Cabela, who I don't think is compromised. Pieces are starting to fall into place, but I guess we'll find out more once we check out that plasma drive. We'll hit the pause button for now, but we will pick up there next time. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
You are my prey!